do now is we're going to bring on Mr. Michael Baziak, son-in-law of Staff Sergeant Joseph Stephen Doherty, United States Air Force, who went missing October 23rd, 1951. So,
hi, everybody. First of all, I would like to say how honored I am to be able to be with you today, and how much I appreciate the DPAA giving me the opportunity to talk to you a little bit about the Revisit Korea program. I hope everybody out there is doing okay. I know some of us have had difficult times lately, and I hope maybe that some of the slides I show in a little bit will bring back some wonderful memories for some of you, and perhaps offer a little bit of hope for others of better days to come. So now I'm going to turn off my camera and start up my slides, and I'll be speaking from behind the slides here. Okay, so I'll be talking about the Revisit Korea for families of Korean War, MIA, KIA servicemen. This is a program totally operated and run by the Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs of the Republic of Korea. I was introduced before, this is me there, and I want to also acknowledge the invaluable help of my co-conspirator here, Brenda Lott of Indiana. Hi, Brenda. She lost a brother in 1950, in October 1950. He had just made his first parachute jump into enemy territory and was killed the next day. He was only 17 years old. His name was Daniel Doolin. So what is the Revisit Korea program about? I list here the benefits. We will totally underwrite 6-day, 5-night stay accommodations in Seoul, South Korea, all hotels, transportation, everything for 2 people of each family, of each serviceman. And they will also pay for 50% of the primary's plane fare and 30% for the first companion. So once these 2 people step on the airplane, they will not have to pay another penny for their entire trip. Additional family members are welcome, but they will have to pay their full costs of flight, hotels, and everything. They will be accommodated though on all the activities. The requirements now are, reading from the bottom, you must of course have a valid passport with 6 months good on it. At least 6 months after expected entry into Korea. You will need a proof of medical insurance that is good while you're in Korea. Many people already have this, and if not, it's easy enough to get from AAA or on the web. And then each person will need to deposit a $250 administrative fee. So the MPAA will not be sending a private jet for you. You will have to make your own arrangements. You can make it on any airline, and for dates of your choosing, you can come earlier or stay later than the official program. And actually, I encourage you to spend a little extra time in the country, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So you'll all be welcomed at the airport by a number of bright, shiny faces who are very, very glad to see you. You will be welcomed like maybe you have never been welcomed before. It's amazing what these young people will do for us throughout the whole week. You may take your first group photo at the airport, as we have here. But then they will put you on a bus and take you on an hour's ride into downtown Seoul. It's about an hour from the airport. And you'll see all the sights along the way across the Han River, and get to your airport, get to your hotel. And I also want to make a shout out briefly to the two ladies who have been with us every trip I've made to the Revisit program. These are our two guides. One will be on each bus, Flora on the left there and Emily on the right. And these ladies are just delightful to talk to. They will tell you all about Korean culture, what it's like to live in Korea, and answer any questions you may have. And we just have a great time on the buses as we travel around. But eventually we'll get to the hotel, and if you're hungry, you can try your first real Korean meal, if you like. I need to tell you, though, that for all meals, you will be given an option of Korean or American food. So if this isn't to your liking, you can keep your normal diet. I want to tell you, though, that the Korean diet is probably one of the most healthful in the world, so I suggest you all try a little bit. But in the morning, when you get up, you'll have the old American fare there, too, with a omelet chef ready to go to fill your order. In the first line of business at the hotel the first morning, you get up, will be an orientation and a introduction to Korean culture, and you'll have a chance to dress up in some traditional Korean outfit here. They call hanbok, and they may teach you a few Korean phrases and teach you a little bit about the Hangul language, the written language. The first event you'll attend will be at the National Cemetery, and here you first begin to get an inkling of the solemnity that they will deal with you, offer you during your whole visit there. You can see the honor guard here that will honor your presence and such. And here you will be doing a incense burning ceremony and a leaf laying. And now yesterday, MACRI had been mentioned several times, the Ministry of National Defense Agency of KIA Recovery and Identification. This agency is analogous to the DPAA. They go out in the South Korea and recover remains and identify them and such. And they work very closely with the DPAA. Inside, you will be able to review some of the artifacts that have been found and just get a sense of what they do. You'll also receive a briefing from both Americans and the Koreans. You'll get basically two briefings, one from each side, telling you about what's going on in the country at that time, what they have done in the past, and the future plans for work in the future. You'll also visit, now this is separate from the MACRI, and I will be talking about several venues here, going through them quick. And you need to realize that these are spaced out over 5 days. So generally, they keep you well occupied during your visit there, but you're never rushed. It's a relaxing, enjoyable time. But here then you will go to the National War Museum and find your loved one's name in bronze, listed by state. All the casualties from the war are listed here, and they will. This picture was taken the first year, and since they will have identified the location of your loved one's name, so you won't have to look for it, and they'll have a little colored dot by it. But if you haven't seen your loved one's name honored to this degree before, it can be quite a moving experience to know that he will truly never be forgotten in the country he died in. You will be given a chance to make a rubbing of his name. They will supply the materials, the paper and the pencils, so you can take this home and then put it in a place of honor. Now, another ceremony, and probably the main one outside the banquet is the tribute ceremony. And this is a time when you will receive back from the Minister of Patriots and Veterans Affairs. She will give you a rendition, an artistic rendition of the photograph that you had supplied them early on in your application process. And here is just an example of that. We had to move inside for this year because of problems with the DMZ area. There was something going on, either political or some tension going on, so they had to move the this honor ceremony to inside in downtown Seoul. The minister will give you a short talk, and then we ask that one family member, and we will work with you on this, to prepare a short letter, a personal letter to your loved one, as if you were going to go out and mail it tomorrow, and just tell him what your life has been like without him, and read that over at this venue, at the ceremony, and needless to say, the tears really begin to flow during this time. But more happily, the minister may come out and show you how to make hearts sign with your fingers, your index and your index finger and your thumb, heart, and say, I heart you. This is very common in Korea, and there are several ways of doing this, which if you go, you'll learn, or ask me some other time how to do that. And but it's very common. Another main visit site is the Joint Security Area at the Panmunjom in the DMZ, and this is exactly where all the action happened back so many years ago. These houses here are the same ones that the negotiations between North and South were in for the armistice or treaty, and you can go inside, and if you cross the midline, you'll actually be in North Korea if you dare, and have your picture taken. But I suggest you do not step out the back door and get out of the house. Most you'll be allowed, of course, then on the area here, and you can take pictures all you want. You will also be given a update on the military and political situation along the DMZ by the commanding officer, which if you have any questions, if anything's going on at that time, if there are any tensions, boy, this is the horse's mouth. You can ask questions and get it straight, the straight answers. Now, I don't know if you can get this at the DMZ, but I kind of like this shirt. It kind of covers the heart motif of you will be recognized, and the DMZ. I just like this for some reason, I don't know. You will also be, you may go to the Nevada Outpost, which is also in the DMZ area for ceremonies. You'll see honor guard and flag presentation, review of some troops, but enjoyably you will be entertained with some wild activity by young Korean soldiers here who are doing acrobatic karate, and boy, do they get up in the air. It's amazing the stunts that these guys can pull off without apparently hurting themselves and breaking all these bricks that you see in the front. It's an amazing show. You'll also be entertained here at the Nevada Outpost with drum serenade, and we get a nice meal at the same time. So you just can't beat this portion of the trip. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the Arrowhead Ridge. It was mentioned yesterday several times about it had just been opened up through negotiations with the North, and they were we were actually the first civilian group allowed in here in 2019, and it was quite an honor. And if you look over the ramparts there and down to the valley, you can see, we saw some groups of soldiers actually going around and doing current demining mining or recovery of remains. And so it was very much a busy place when we were there, and we were very appreciative to be allowed to go there. We had a short remembrance ceremony for all the fallen there and our loved ones. And of course, another a briefing we got. Now, these people around with the camouflage and helmets on are, a lot of them are not military. What had happened is that we took two buses around, and about 2 miles from this hill, we stopped and we got out of the buses, and they put us in SUV-like vehicles for apparently fast getaway. And all the staff went to the house there and came out with flak jackets, body armor, and helmets. And so we looked at these guys and wondered a few minutes what exactly was going on, but we accepted that they knew what they were doing. So nobody said too much, but it was an interesting experience. And I want to assure you folks that they told us that if anything happened, if any hostilities started to happen here, that they would really gear us up and allow us to join in the fight and protect the line. So we had a lot of fun with this. Now, going to more cultural venues, we went to the National Museum here, and this is just an example of one of the displays. If anybody knows about Korea history, I think it was here in this location they had some turtle boats, which you don't know. If you don't know what turtle boats are, find a Korean movie called The Admiral, and that will explain what the turtle boats were and how they were used in naval operations, hundreds of years ago. You will see displays like this, tapestries, which are just absolutely gorgeous, amazing. This is about 12 feet tall, or at least, and just very, very impressive for example of the Korean heritage and the treasures. And my favorite guy here is this Buddha, who's just sitting here thinking a little bit about something, but he's got a really nice smile on his face, kind of like the Mona Lisa. So whatever he's thinking about is amusing to him. We also go to the one of the dynastic palaces. Here you can see the entrance with monkeys up like gargoyles on the roof there for good luck. And we spent a little bit of time here and see one of the inside palace structures where I guess the emperor and his posse hung out and received visitors. We also go to a traditional village, and I don't have more slides of that than this, but at the end of the tour, we are entertained with circus acrobats and have another good time. If you haven't been in one of the tallest buildings of the world, you will have an opportunity to go up the elevator at Lodi Tower to the observation level and look out the window and see exactly where you are. This is quite an interesting sight to see. They also have some of the flooring here goes out and has a glass floor, so you can look straight down to the cars. Very, very interesting. And the other side then, looking out at the Han River that flows through the city. Now, then the last major stop for all good Americans is Insadong Street for all the shopping you could ever want. They give you most of an afternoon to do this, so you can go up and down and browse around and check things out. Like I say, as all good Americans, we do love to shop, except for once in a while we get a male type person who catches himself in the doll department and just wonders, what the heck am I doing here? So I don't think he was really that upset, but just the expression on his face was somewhat catching. So that brings us to the banquet, the last night of our stay there. a formal banquet, and we'll see here what it's about. We will ask also another family member to write a little short presentation on what it was like for them to lose their loved one to the war, and they will present it here. The minister will give everyone the Ambassador Peace Medal, and here you see that the real minister had a schedule conflict. Excuse me, was unable to make it, but she designated this gentleman. That was no problem for us. We enjoyed his company just as much. So he will receive the medal, and then just another view of it here. And then in attendance will be the commanding officer of all U.S. forces on the Korean Peninsula. He will give some words of memory for our loved ones, and really all soldiers and airmen who lost their lives in the war. And then we'll have a little bit of entertainment. The Little Angels, who put on a terrific show. They do dancing and singing and all kinds of good stuff. And we have a lot of fun with that too. And here they are making a nice. And an example of who attended the meeting, the banquet. We have both military and civilian individuals, and Korean and American. So it's a major event there in Korea. I assure you, they have dignitaries come and share the evening with us. And then last but not least, they have, of course, a salute to the all the fallen, and of course we all join in. And I want to point out these right in the blue are actually Army cadets in Korea, and there'll be 2 at each table, and it's very interesting, very enjoyable to sit down and talk to them a little bit about their life in the military, why they joined, what they hope to do, and it gives them a chance to practice English and learn about us. And it's one of the treats, I thought, of the whole trip, is to meet these guys. And of course, the ladies will have their same toasting opportunities. Now, I was wishy-washy about presenting this slide, but in the end, I thought, you know, at the end of the evening, every one of us felt pretty much like this, and wanted to thank our hosts for the evening and for the whole trip, for what they have done for us. So this is just representative of everyone who attended there. And then that's the end of the formal revisit trip. And if I have more time, I will take a little bit more time. They said I could have some more time. I will revisit. And if you don't remember the remember.net, you can go there and get the contact information. But I said earlier that I would suggest that if you can go or have an opportunity to do the revisit trip, to stay a few extra days and stay in Seoul, or take buses around the country, or take the train down to Busan. Or my wife and I drove around the country. We rented a car and drove stayed out 4 nights, and just had a great time. You cannot read any sign street sign at all. You know, forget that. But with GPS, you can find pretty much anything you want to find. So we wanted to go to this 50-foot golden Buddha. You know, that just was an amazing thing. And why I saw that, and why no one is here, is that we found out later that the Buddhas birthday celebration. It was a week-long celebration, was just ending up. So everybody here was at some celebrating event for Buddha's birthday. And in one of the towns we went in, we saw this float with Buddha riding a dragon on it, and it was kind of taken with the whole idea. And then saw some beautiful ladies who were just waiting around, waiting for me to come along and take their picture, I'm sure. But they were very accommodating and pleasant for us. Driving around the country, you will see scenes like this. Such a beautiful, green, luscious country. It's amazing. You know, had no idea, really, what Korea had to offer. And if you want to walk a little bit, you can find a park. There's one of the national parks, and walk up. And these balloons here, I think, are again for Buddha's birthday. But there's a whole lot more here than what I show. But I wanted to show these rock monuments that look kind of strange. We had no idea what they were or where they came from. But walking out, we found out a little bit about them. That it's a lifetime endeavor. You start early to engineer and learn your artistic skills to build them. If you drive down to Mokpo, you can go to a outside sculpture garden and see things like this, and like this, and like this. And actually, that kind of represent to me the peace, tranquility that our sacrifices. Happy to have their picture taken, and you know, it just exemplifies to me the prosperity and the beauty of South Korea today. So that is my talk now. So I'll turn it back to the moderator, and you can leave this slide up for a while if you want, and you can take down the phone numbers or address and give us a call. We don't know what the MPVA's plans are exactly right now, but if you contact us, we can put you on the list. And when we do get word that something will be happening in the future, we will certainly contact you back and give you a chance to apply and do whatever one can. So with that, I will say thank you very much, and so long.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. Excellent presentation, and glad we had a little bit of more time for you to go into more detail. Great photos. And folks, truly take advantage of Mike as a point of contact to learn more about the program or to find out more details. But again, Mike, thank you so very much. All right, our next guest